What is going on? No. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about why I think Forza Horizon 5 coming to PS5 will help Motorfest. Now, I'm sure you're probably going to look at that and go, what do you mean, dude? I did want to explain why I think it's going to help because I feel like in multiple different areas, this is going to be a good thing. And I do know for a fact there is going to be a lot of mixed comments saying like Forza Horizon 5 has its own issues, there's negatives with it. And that's the thing, like, yeah, that's probably true. There is probably going to be things here and there that even a new player like myself is probably going to notice, along with other new players. But the thing is, what I was really thinking about when I did end up seeing this, at least the first thing that probably came to my brain was, yeah, it's probably going to have issues, but every other game does as well. We all do know basically every racing game on the market at the moment isn't all that perfect. They're all going to have little flaws here and there that people are not all that happy with. So in ways, I'm trying to look at that and go, okay, well, let's look at the positives of what this game is going to bring. We all do know everybody does want to play this, and I feel like with that is also going to help other games change. A few of those guys I did want to talk about that can help Motorfest out is probably one, the updates, and also the way they are probably going to fix bugs and get things out there that players have truly been asking for. A lot of people have been asking for more content, more playlists, better PvP stuff, and I feel like when Forza does end up releasing and players start jumping on that, doing all the stuff it has to offer, they are probably not going to have a choice but go in and go, okay, maybe we should finally add class-based PvP to the game, have all this stuff into it, maybe add a bunch of playlists and have more content overall coming into it. And on top of that, we're also going to focus on a new content and not be reusing something like the Crew 2 stuff in the main stages. We should probably have some new stuff in here that is going to bring players into it that is also going to have a newer experience. I mean, the thing is, having something like Forza coming out with what that game does offer, it is probably going to be hard for a lot of players to truly go back to Motorfest unless the upcoming seasons are legit that great. We also do know every season's going to be a 4 month or so window, which right there alone is honestly going to be a tad insane depending on what does end up coming out with it. And the reason why I do say this is we're probably all aware that, yeah, we're going to get some new vehicles, probably a new playlist, but my question is, though, what are some of the bugs that are going to be fixed, and are they finally going to address some other things players have been asking for? At the moment, guys, I kind of get a tad frustrated because I feel like everybody's in the dark, or almost like they really are not acknowledging what people do want. This is probably going to be a big issue, not just in Motorfest, but in a lot of games nowadays, because they're kind of focusing on the wrong things. You all know what I mean? I think it's kind of fairly obvious at this point. But the thing is, though, I was kind of looking at this in a different aspect that maybe they're probably going to take a different approach at Motorfest. You also might be wondering what exactly I do mean by that. Well, guys, I think they might end up taking a route similar to like the Crew 2 or the Crew 1. Again, this is probably going to sound insane, but hear me out for a quick second. I do feel like they're probably going to take that route because that is going to make the game incredibly unique in its own way. I might even make a different video about this because it honestly is a tad frustrating when I do think about it. But the thing is, though, we all do know right now that Motorfest is probably going to be fairly similar with how it's going to be with like the festival type of thing and how it's designed, similar to Forza Horizon. I mean, it's kind of obvious, man. Can't we admit that? I do enjoy Motorfest, but even then, I still gotta say it. Like, I mean, you can really tell that. But the thing is, though, looking at the Crew 2, you could really tell that that game was going to be incredibly unique right behind the Crew 1. I am going to have some footage of the Crew 1 in the background, but I do apologize. It's older Crew 1 footage because that's all I got, man. I can't get back on there and get some more footage, and know what I mean? Kind of unfortunate because looking back at the footage, I missed the game a bit, but that was the thing. That really made the Crew 1 so dang unique was the way it looked, the way the cars drove, the entire like map design in the Crew 1 and the Crew 2 was absolutely insane. No other racing game had anything like that. I felt like the progression in the games were fairly decent. There was a lot of stuff to go after in the Crew 2. There was all kinds of vehicle classes. But the thing is, though, you had so many different types of terrain with like hovercrafts. You could fly planes around, motocross bikes, all kinds of rally raid vehicles, jet sprint boats, power boats. There really was so many things to offer in that game, but also the atmosphere that did end up going with it. Like, you weren't going to be on a tiny island or something like that, or like a smaller map. Instead, you had all kinds of different terrains, different vehicles to mess with, and on top of that, there was going to be over 350 regular events in the game, And on top of that, they also did end up having the community events. You guys can probably see where I am going with this, but the thing is, they gotta aim at making the game unique again. I'm sure a lot of players probably will agree with this, that if they did end up taking this route, maybe doing something insane. I'm not 100% sure what they could do, but maybe start with adding new PvP modes, maybe revamping the entire summit, get rid of the entire custom show. I don't know why that is a thing still. Get rid of it, put those rewards and other things players can work toward, fill up all the rewards in the main stage, really make the game worth playing every single month, and also on top of that, stop reusing old stuff in every single challenge list for playlists or everything in the summits and in the main stages. That right there for me is probably going to be a huge start in getting the game on a better and unique track. The biggest thing, guys, I would say is they really should add like a bunch of PvP modes to it. Make the entire game more interesting. That way players want to log on and really play it. I feel like that's a huge step, and also the number one priority, I would admit, which I also did end up making a video about this, is going to be the servers and why they should be a priority. Get them right, really get them fixed, that way players can enjoy the game with their friends. And also, who knows, maybe the game obviously not having crossplay might end up changing now with Forza getting it, which I think that could end up being a thing in the future. If it's not going to be a thing in this game, I feel like in the next crew game, they are most likely going to have crossplay in there. I understand and wanting to advertise the game as a crossplay thing, but we gotta be real. Only having that on Grand Races, man, was honestly a huge L. A lot of players probably do want to enjoy Motorfest and stuff like that, but there is definitely some limitations there. There really is going to be some oddball design decisions I honestly do not understand. For me, one of my biggest gripes is the fact that many of the things coming out in the game are not that exciting, or they're basically showing everything off like they'd show a main stage, and then you look at it and go, okay, well that's going to be a Crew 2 vehicle, everybody has that. That's not going to be that fun. Then you look at the other main stages, you go, okay, so the next 3 or 4 main stages are going to be awful. Got it. Which means I'm not going to have to log on and play the game at all during the entire 4 months for that matter, unless I am going to get on for the last summit every single month to get the vehicle that's most likely coming out. I'm sure everybody does see the issue with this, but this was a big reason why I'm so dang excited to play Forza, because again, I've never played it, and I'm really excited to see this come on the PlayStation. I've seen a lot of great things about it, guys. I am going to be covering the game when it does come out on PlayStation. It's going to be all kinds of videos and topics and stuff like that, whether it's going to be comparing Forza to Motorfest or going over some dope features in Forza that I really like being a first-time player, whether that's going to be like the upgrading parts on cars or all the PvP stuff that's in there, the insane variety of the vehicles, the car list. Stay tuned for all kinds of videos. And the funny part to me though is if you are logging on to Instagram X, you can definitely be seeing a lot more people really talking their minds on these issues, and they're basically all over the comment sections. In fact, I think this is great. But I really do think, with that being said, with everyone saying that, I really do hope they do end up listening, really following what players want, and on top of that, really aim at making Motorfest unique, or pretty much going back to its roots on what made the Crew 1 and the Crew 2 so dang unique. We all do know Motorfest kind of did end up stepping away from it, and I feel like there could be so many dang improvements in so many different places. And lastly though, I do want to mention I really want to see every single game succeed and do great. The thing is though, looking at Motorfest though, sometimes I'm playing this game like it is going to be beautiful. Yeah, the map's going to be gorgeous, the car models are pretty good, the car sounds are pretty good. But the thing is though, looking at this on a surface level and biting into it, it's kind of like a donut, right? I have used this analogy in a few other videos, but it really does fit it so dang perfectly. You're looking at this jelly or this cream-filled donut, it looks absolutely beautiful. You could really see some potential there. The thing is though, you bite into that donut and there's nothing in the middle of it. And I would probably guess at this point we can all agree that is going to be a big problem. Now I am curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do you guys think Forza Horizon 5 coming to PS5 is going to help Motorfest? Let me know in the comments like which ways you think it will help, what are some ways Motorfest needs help, whether that's going to be servers, content, whatever it might possibly be. I am really curious to know what the entire community thinks on what can be fixed and also what can be improved with a new game that a lot of players have wanted now coming to this platform, which is honestly insane.